Hey guys, welcome back to science. This week we were studying erosion, which is the process by which rocks and other earth materials are broken down and moved from one place to another over long periods of time. We learned that wind, water, ice, and even different types of plants can cause erosion. Then we were looking at our sim and at an experiment, and we learned that time and speed of water can affect how much erosion there is. We saw that as the river ran for a longer period of time, it eroded more sediment and rock. And the faster the river was, the more erosion there was. I just want to remind you of a few things we learned in Rocky Wonders, and we're going to look at the different types of erosion: wind, water, ice, and plants. So the first one I want to look at is wind erosion, and we saw this with the mushroom rocks in Egypt. So the wind is blowing this way, and it's not strong enough to blow the rocks this high. The rocks can only be blown this high. So as the wind blows, those rocks are hitting this other rock, so they're slowly chipping away. This bigger mushroom rock is breaking apart, and those other rocks are falling down. Again, it looks like a mushroom because the wind isn't strong enough to blow the rocks this high. So this is one example of wind erosion. Then we have ice erosion. If there's a crack in a rock or some type of crevice, water can fill up that crack. As the water freezes into ice, the ice expands. So when it expands, it can actually crack the rock and cause more pieces of it to break away. And that also causes erosion. Now, usually plants help stop erosion because their roots that are going deep down underground to find water, usually those roots hold the soil in place and keep the land from eroding. However, if a plant grows in rock, its roots can find cracks and push the sides apart. This can cause pieces of rock to break away, which is erosion. Then there are a few different ways that water can erode surfaces. Here's one example of a waterfall pushing back the line of the rock further and further and further over time. Now, these sharp rocks at the bottom are evidence that they have recently broken off from this bigger chunk of rock. So that means it is very dangerous to be on top of here. It looks really stable, but actually pieces of it are falling off and breaking apart constantly. So it's a very dangerous place to be, and it is eroding constantly. Now, just as we suspected, rivers are one major cause of canyons. So over thousands and millions of years, these rivers are picking up sediment and rocks from the bottom of the riverbed, and they're moving them further downstream. So over time, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Now, not all rivers erode the same amount of rock because, like we studied, time and speed can affect the amount of erosion. So the longer a river flows over rock, the more it will erode, and the faster a river flows, the more it will erode. And finally, we have an arch out in the ocean because when waves crash against rock over and over again, they wear away the rock, and over time, an arch can form. So these are some real-world examples of erosion caused by wind, water, ice, and plants. Your job now is to watch the Bill Nye video that's attached, and he has some really cool real-life examples and even some experiments that you can try at home to experience erosion for yourself. At the very end, there will be a short Google quiz for you to take. Make sure you click submit when you're finished. Good luck and happy working.